Frontline briefing, uncovering modern warfare's hidden battles, October 16, 2025. Malanivka, eastern Ukraine. 22 Russian armored vehicles roll out at 7:50 a.m., 11 tanks and fighting vehicles, 11 logistics trucks. This isn't a combat patrol. This is a resupply lifeline. Destination, Shakov. A Russian artillery position is preparing to strike Toretsk. Stay through to see how a 9-kilometer electronic net turned a 20-minute drive into a 7-minute massacre, and why losing 15 tons of ammunition collapsed an entire offensive before it began. For 15 minutes before the convoy moved, a Furia UAV had been circling overhead. Silent, invisible, its infrared sensors captured engine heat signatures. Hot engines meant heavy loads. Command vehicles ran with constant radio traffic. Every vehicle is classified, every spacing is measured. All encrypted data is streamed to Ukrainian artillery control 10 kilometers away. Ukrainian planners already knew 3 things the Russians didn't. 1. The road had no alternate routes. Forest on one side, open fields on the other. 2. After leaving air defense coverage, the convoy would be exposed for 20 minutes. 3. No observation posts were present along this stretch. No quick reaction force within range. The convoy was alone, exposed, and moving exactly where Ukraine expected. Ukraine prepared a 3-layer trap. Layer 1, M270 rocket artillery, hidden 12 kilometers behind Ukrainian lines, armed with M30A1 cluster warheads. Layer 2, directional mines. PTK-M1R and TM62 charges were planted at precise GPS coordinates along the route. Not positioned to destroy vehicles immediately, positioned to force the convoy to disperse into predetermined kill zones. Layer 3, 6 FPV kamikaze drones, teams positioned in abandoned structures 2 kilometers north. Each drone, $3,000, each warhead, 2.5 to 3 kilograms shaped charge. Overhead, a Mavic 3 surveillance drone held position at 120 meters. Real-time thermal tracking, wind data, vehicle spacing, command vehicle identification, everything synchronized, artillery plotted, mines armed, drones ready, waiting for the convoy to advance exactly 1,400 meters further, waiting for the command vehicle to enter the clearing, waiting for the lead vehicle to cross the marked position. The Russians moved at 40 kilometers per hour, half combat, half logistics formation, standard spacing. They hugged the tree line, believing terrain provided concealment. Ukrainian thermal imaging tracked every vehicle, every crew member, every cargo bay temperature. At 8:07 a.m., the BRM-1K command vehicle rolled into the pre-marked clearing. In the command center, the Azov Brigade commander lifted the encrypted radio. Go Alpha, confirm. Battery M270, target grid 6229. Fire 1. The trap closed. Modern artillery doesn't scatter shells randomly. It delivers precision fragmentation at the exact moment a convoy is most vulnerable. 23 seconds after the fire order, 6 M30A1 GMLRS rockets reached their target. Not ballistic arc, GPS-guided precision flight. Warheads programmed to detonate 20 to 30 meters above the convoy. This is cluster munition doctrine. Airburst spreads 182,000 tungsten fragments across a 200-meter corridor. Detonation. Tungsten fragments scream down at 1,500 meters per second, shredding armor, penetrating engine blocks, severing hydraulic lines. The lead BMP-2 took direct hits. Turret ring wrecked. Smoke erupts from the ammunition bay. Crew abandoned through side hatches, running into the fields. A BMP-3's left track was severed. The vehicle lurched, tipped, and rolled into a drainage ditch. One T-72B3 took glancing fragments across the engine deck, not destroyed, but immobilized. Smoke is pouring from the cooling vents. The second T-72B3 peeled away, seeking cover. No mobility kill, but out of formation. 40 seconds after the first salvo, the convoy's marching order had collapsed. Vehicles scattered. Some reversed. Some turned into the fields. Some halted mid-road. Internal communications were severed, each vehicle improvised. No coordination, no command. Vehicles turned into lateral routes exactly where Ukraine had positioned secondary mines. A Ural 4320 ammunition truck rolled over a PTKM-1R directional mine. The shaped charge detonated beneath the rear axle. The blast tore through the cargo bed. 122mm artillery rounds ignited. Secondary explosions erupted. A fire column rose 10 meters. Black smoke. Backward shockwave. The BRM-1K command vehicle directly behind took heavy fragments to its radio mast. The command suite was destroyed. The second Ural was blinded by dirt and debris. The crew lost steering. The truck careened into the field. An MTLB towing a repair trailer tried to escape. Its tracks bogged in soft mud, immobilized. Every escape route was a trap. A BMP-3 steering into a side field rolled onto another mine. The vehicle flipped. The turret separated from the hull. A T-90A following the same route detonated a second. The front collapsed. Black smoke from beneath the chassis. 3 more vehicles were removed from the fight. The convoy was trapped. Swamp ahead. Fire and wreckage behind. Mine on both flanks. But the strike wasn't over. Artillery breaks formations. Mine force dispersal. But FPV drones deliver the execution. At 8:10 a.m., 3 minutes after the artillery strike, 6 FPV kamikaze drones launched. They flew low over rice paddies, fan pattern, 3 different approach vectors. Operators watched first-person feeds. Target selection in real time. Target 1, the BRM-1K command vehicle, already damaged. The radio mast was destroyed. Crew attempting repairs. The drone accelerated to 130 kilometers per hour in its final dive. Impact. The warhead punched through the radio control box and detonated inside the crew cabin. The cabin disintegrated. The command node was erased. Target 2, a Kamaz fuel truck at the convoy's rear, still intact. Crew attempting to reverse. The drone penetrated the fuel tank compartment. A massive fireball erupted. 21,000 liters of diesel ignited. Black smoke blanketed the fields. The thermal signature was visible from orbit. Target 3, a BMP-2 rotating its turret, attempting to provide covering fire. The drone struck the vehicle's drive cluster. The main gun control was destroyed. A sharp, contained detonation. The vehicle didn't explode. It simply stopped working. Crew evacuated on foot, running southwest across open ground. 8:16 a.m., 6 minutes and 41 seconds from first artillery strike to final FPV impact. No return fire recorded, no suppression, no relief. 10 minutes after the last strike, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams moved in. Helmet cams, low-level drones, documenting the scene. 9 armored vehicles were destroyed. 4 AFVS are immobilized. 4 vehicles were abandoned. 4 vehicles unaccounted for are presumed fled. A T-72 was abandoned mid-road. The turret was cocked at 45 degrees like a broken neck. A BMP charred black. The track was thrown 15 meters from the hull. The BRM-1K, the command center of the convoy, reduced to a smoking steel frame. 22 vehicles entered the kill zone. 4 escaped. By 8:50 a.m., the entire convoy had been neutralized. When you destroy a convoy, you don't just destroy vehicles. You destroy schedules. And schedules decide wars. At Shaykov, Russian tanks and artillery were waiting. Waiting for shells. Waiting for fuel. Waiting for repair parts. The convoy never arrived. The Russian mechanized brigade tasked with the western push was forced to postpone its planned breakthrough. Not for lack of manpower, for lack of ammunition and fuel. Within 48 hours, Ukrainian forces recorded a 36% drop in Russian artillery rounds fired in adjacent sectors. Armored units canceled assault plans, shifted to passive defense, requested resupply from the eastern flank. Logistical pressure shifted rearward, clogging an already strained Russian supply network. 1 convoy destroyed, the entire offense stalled. The ambush triggered 3 cascading effects. First, the Malanivka route was designated a high-risk zone. Subsequent convoys forced to detour via secondary corridors. Transit time increased from 2 hours to 6 hours. Second, convoys are prohibited from traveling in large groups. split into packets of 4 to 5 trucks, lower tonnage per move, transport congestion, sharply reduced throughput. Third, escort requirements surged. More air defense, more EW units, more route clearance teams. Escorts meant fewer combat units on the front line. Every ZSU-23 protecting a convoy was one not covering infantry. Operating costs doubled. Tempo cut in half. In modern war, when you can't sustain tempo, you're losing even if not yet defeated. Ukraine didn't win this ambush with superior firepower. They won with superior information. And information is the new artillery. Traditional doctrine says armored convoys moving fast are safe. Traditional doctrine is obsolete. What destroyed this convoy wasn't luck. It was a reconnaissance strike complex. Layer 1. Persistent surveillance. Furia UAV tracked the convoy for 15 minutes before it moved. Layer 2. Real-time targeting. Mavic 3 provided live coordinates. The command center synchronized all strike elements. Layer 3. Precision fires. Artillery broke the formation. Mines forced dispersal. Drones executed high-value targets. See, decide, strike, document. Total time, 7 minutes. The modern battlefield has no safe movement corridors. Commercial drones provide 24/7 surveillance. Thermal imaging penetrates concealment. GPS coordinates enable precision strikes anywhere. A $3,000 FPV drone can destroy a $5 million tank. Cost asymmetry favors the defender. Russia now faces an impossible logistics problem. They must sustain dozens of supply routes simultaneously. Each route requires air defense coverage, electronic warfare units, route clearance teams, quick reaction forces, continuous surveillance. They don't have enough systems. Every defensive asset protecting logistics is one not protecting maneuver forces. Defend everywhere means defend nowhere. For Ukraine, the calculus is clear. Invest $50,000 in drones, mines, and artillery rounds. Destroy $40 million in vehicles, ammunition, and fuel. 800 to 1 return on investment. But the real force multiplier isn't cost, it's information dominance. Ukraine can see Russian movements in real time. Russia moves blindly, hoping routes are secure. In 2025, information is more valuable than firepower. Russia thought armored convoys were safe. Ukraine proved that nothing moves safely when you can't control the sky or the information space. 5 principles from the Malanivka ambush. 1. Persistent reconnaissance wins before the fight begins. Tracking a convoy for 15 minutes allowed Ukraine to position every asset perfectly. 2. Artillery breaks formations. Cluster munitions force dispersion. Once a convoy scatters, coordination collapses. 3. Mines don't need to destroy, they need to redirect. Directional mines force vehicles into secondary kill zones. 4. FPV drones execute high-value targets. Command vehicles, fuel trucks, ammunition transports. Kill these, and the convoy dies. 5. Information dominance enables precision violence. Real-time targeting data turned $50,000 in munitions into $40 million in destroyed capability. Russia now faces 4 bad options. Option 1. Concentrate defenses on critical routes. This leaves secondary routes vulnerable. Option 2. Spread defenses thin across all routes. This makes each route easier to penetrate. Option 3. Abandon vulnerable corridors. This forces longer, more expensive routes through rougher terrain. Option 4. Accept periodic losses. This gradually degrades combat capability over time. Every option has strategic costs. There is no good solution. When defense costs more than offense, defense eventually fails. Final assessment: Ukraine, $50,000 invested, artillery, mines, drones. 7 minutes of combat. 22 vehicles targeted, 18 destroyed or immobilized. 15 tons of ammunition were denied. 21,000 liters of fuel destroyed. The entire offense is delayed. Russia, $40 million in vehicles lost. 72 hours of artillery sustainment erased. Western push canceled. 36% artillery fire reduction. All supply routes are now high risk. Escort requirements doubled. 800 to 1. But the real victory isn't the hardware destroyed, it's the strategic paradigm shift. Russia can no longer assume armored convoys reach their destination safely. Every resupply mission is now a potential ambush. Russia must defend every kilometer of every route. Logistics became the battlefield. The Malanivka kill zone lies silent now. Burnt vehicles were scattered across 500 meters of road and field. Ukraine demonstrated reconnaissance strike complex warfare, not through overwhelming force, through understanding vulnerabilities, persistent surveillance, precision fires, real-time coordination. Combined, these defeat logistics networks are worth billions. This is the new doctrine. No safe movement corridors. Distance is irrelevant. Russia must defend everywhere with resources they don't have. Ukraine can strike anywhere. Russia must guess where. Information wins. Logistics decides.